Hello, everybody. The name is Lemon Jr., and I am here with Mr. Devin, aka Sweettooth. And needless to say, it's an absolute honor to have the chance to finally speak with you and tell you right here, right now, thank you for everything you've done so far in the EM community, your rising legacy, the impact you're leaving in the community, in the industry, and it's almost 10 freaking years of Sweettooth. His first ever release on SoundCloud in May 2014, and then it just grew and grew into something so much more. And needless to say, just thank you so much. And I have to ask, did you ever think that this project, Sweettooth, would be reaching its 10-year anniversary this year?
I think it's funny that you say that because I always kind of thought my anniversary was like 2013, because that's when I started playing shows around the first time as a DJ. I actually didn't know my first SoundCloud upload was in May until you brought it up to me earlier this morning. So yeah, thank you for that. So it's kind of funny to think that from a public standpoint, it'll be 10 years. But yeah, that was always the plan. You know what I mean? Like it may sound delusional, but I kind of knew going into this, but this is what I was gonna do. It was always a long-term thing for me.
Nice. And didn't you say like really the true anniversary was 2013? That's where started doing shows. Is that where like all kind of began? That made you was there any moment in time where it's like you said to yourself, "This is what I want to do, and I'm just gonna follow on this path"?
I think that moment came in 2012 when I went to my first actual proper dubstep show, Bassrush versus Circus 2012, and it was during Funcase's set, and I was like, okay. That's what I want to do. And then just going to like underground shows at the at the end of 2012 and beginning of 2013, I was like, okay, no, this is what I want to do for real. And it didn't take much time. Like as soon as I decided, like, all right, this is what I want to do. I just went to Guitar Center, bought a fucking controller, and just started mixing every day. So I don't know. As soon as like the idea of like wanting to be a DJ came up, I just kind of just went for it.
Just went for it, and look where it led you. And now with the whole Bassrush versus Circus, right, in 2012?
Yeah.
And you seeing Funtcase, is like one of your biggest inspirations to like you doing this, creating your sound, that type of thing?
I'd say Funtcase has had little to no impact on me as a person. No, I'm just kidding. Like, he's the single biggest inspiration I've ever had. Inside of music, outside of music. It's he's the guy I go to. You know what I mean? I've never looked up to anyone more. He knows this. Everyone knows this. I'm very open about it. But if it wasn't for him, Cookie, R.I.P., Tony, I love you, miss you. Those two, the ones that made me want to do this.
That's amazing, and I can already tell you with Cookie Monster, he's definitely looking at you from heaven and saying he's very proud of the progress that you're making so far. And with you being inspired by Funtcase, that's what led you to pretty much be like DPMO till you die when you first joined in Volume 2 with you and Level with the song, I believe it was, hold on a second. Yep, Impending Doom. So when you first got that like invitation to be a part of Volume 2 of DPMO, was it kind of like you were working on something and it's like it's finally happening?
Yeah, so at the time there was all these little sub-labels, there was NSD Black Label, there was Disciple Roundtable, Firepower had Flatline, and when Impending Doom had got signed to DPMO, I didn't even know that DPMO was a thing or it was going to be a thing because I got the call or the email before DPMO 1 was announced. So when Impending Doom got signed to DPMO 2, you guys got to remember that DPMO 1 hadn't been announced to the public yet,
Mm-hmm.
But my whole thing was like, man, like if Funtcase had his own version of Black Label, or like if Circus Records had their own label or their own version of Black Label, like I feel like that'd be perfect for me,
Mm.
And lo and behold, I got the email from Funtcase saying like, hey, like this tune, it goes off, and I'm starting my own like underground thing, and I want you to be a part of it. And I was just, it was something that I always wanted, and it was kind of funny too because Impending Doom got turned down by every record label and it got picked up by my dream label that I didn't even know was a thing yet. So it's one of those like everything happens for a reason. And then as far as like the DPMO Till I Die thing, like again that tune, it got turned down by everyone, and James was the one that took a chance on it. Not only the tune, but took a chance on me as a very young producer DJ. That was my first release, so it's like loyalty's huge for me.
Thank you so much, Funtcase, for bringing someone like Sweettooth and Level to bless your DPMO label when it was just beginning. And that is incredible to hear. And speaking of which, we mentioned you and Level, what is about you two that's like makes you almost like a dynamic duo? Because in almost every single festival show that I see, and almost every single song I hear, it's always you and him. Is there like a synergy between you two that makes you guys just make some type of freaking magic with one another?
I would say we fill in each other's empty spaces, He was definitely the more technical producer. I was the more technical DJ, but even our approach to production was a little different. He was more like the sound design guy, and I was always more the flow guy. So it'd be one of those things where, especially in the early days, he would have these sounds where he wouldn't know what to do with them. I'm like, dude, like if I made these sounds, like this is what I would do, And then I would have a flow and was like, yeah, dude, this flow is fucking sick, but I don't have the sounds to really get there. And then he would kind of help me beef up my sounds and like, make them sound a little bit more full. And even when it comes to mixing live, when we mix live together, I like to definitely go a little bit more aggro, and he likes to storytell a little bit more. And not to say that he can't go aggro, not to say that he can't storytell, but it's like I said, we cover each other's like, we complete each other, for lack of a better term,
Right. That definitely understood. So he's more storytelling, you're more the person who wants to deliver the music of it all in every set that you make. Is that correct?
Yeah, I definitely go for intensity,
Intensity. So speaking of which, since he was more the storyteller, it seems like as time went on, you kind of wanted to maybe either do more showcases or show more of like who you are as a DJ, as an artist, because when you joined Circus, you made your debut EP, which was called Corvus Memoirs. Am I hoping saying that properly? Is there a reason why that was like your debut? And is there like more of a meaning to that debut EP when they first came out in April 2020?
I mean, I don't want to say there was really a deeper meaning to it. It was time to get music out, Circus is my dream label. Circus Records is what started it for me at all, And when they took Impending Doom, it was just time to follow up. Because at the time, DPMO wasn't a label. It was a yearly comp that was done through Circus. So it was just time to... I don't know, I think too, it was for me, I wanted to put out an EP with a more serious tone. I have my antics, I have my, my sense of humor, but I wanted to show it's like, hey, like I can put out music that's, I think it was 4 solos and, 4 solos and 1 collab. And at the time, I was pretty much just only known for doing collabs. It's like, hey, like I can do a big boy EP on my own, on my dream level, and like have it pop off.
Right. Are there any collabs that like from your original music that you are very proud of? Because it seems like, if I may say one example, the work you've done in your second EP in DPMO, Problem Child, might be one of your best works yet in my eyes, because it seemed like it meant a whole lot to you, that EP.
Yeah, I think not to say that one EP meant more than the other. I just feel like Corvus Memoirs is more of a flow EP, if that makes sense. I think it was more based off just like raw emotion, and then Problem Child was me just like, dude, like okay, like I can produce, like I'll never be the most technical producer in the world. I'm okay with that. I don't want to be, but Problem Child was me showing like, hey, like I can do some technical shit when I want to. I just don't want to.
Understood. But still, BP still goes kind of off. And again, you had such incredible people like Chromatic and Sora, and of course, the legendary Armnani Rain, like giving their work, giving their like energy to make Problem Child, the Problem Child EP come to life. That's something to obviously gotta be proud of, because Chromatic and Sora, two rising legends in the EDM community, and Armnani Rain. What else can be said about Armnani Rain? He's just freaking incredible, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, and one of the things too is like a lot of people don't know that without Armnani Rain, Joe, and a couple others, like we wouldn't have dubstep in America as we know it. And one of the cool things about Armnani is me and him actually became friends during the Black Lives Matter movements during 2020.
Mm-hmm.
And so me and him just bounce ideas back and forth off each other, just have like these little talks about what it means to be a black artist, what it means to be a black artist for yourself, what it means to be a black artist in the eyes of other, rising black consumers, and what it means to be a black artist in a primarily white-dominated industry where it's like, yes, they do want... It's kind of like the inside joke is they want to see black people, but they don't want to hear black people. They don't want black people to be black on their own terms, And, like, one of the things I loved about working with Armnani is we got to make a song that actually had a message, and the message was fuck the public school or the public education system, which I don't know how many people actually listen to Dropout, but that's one of my, I really love that song and I love the message behind it. And I think being able to work with Armnani and have him kind of semi come out of, not necessarily retirement, but he was definitely on his way out of working dance music, and he was just kind of like, all right, dude, like, I really don't want to do dance music anymore. I'm not really feeling dubstep right now, but since it's you, like, I'll do it. So that was fucking sick,
That is amazing. And connecting to that, it leads to the charity stream, which is One Beat, which I believe, in my opinion, has to be one of your best streams yet, because you said like, it was like one of your most emotional, most like you really put your heart and soul into it because of what it represents, because of you being a black artist and you wanting people to hear you, not just see you, but hear you as well. That much I had to say, just thank you so much for that, because that's one of my favorite charity streams to see, and to see people like saying my name, yeah, me too, Glades, Blackjack, other dubstep EDM artists that I have seen and heard many times over, and to see just my people, just people who look like me, be represented in this way. Thanks, you say my name so much for this. It just really meant the world to me. To have that type of representation, and people say like, no, there are people like you who are doing this, who love the same music as you do. It means so much to people like me, and that much I have to say thank you. Not only just to you and Blackjack and Glades and say my name, but to say my name and everyone else. Just thank you so much for that, because that 2020 charity stream meant the world to me.
Yeah, I gotta give a big shout out to Say My Name for that one, because One Beat was it was a youth company a youth center that he had went to as a child. And for me and my music career, one of the biggest things that got me interested in being a musician was the summer camp that I went to, And the One Beat charity stream happened again during the BLM movement, and the BLM movement was primarily a protest against the disproportionate police brutality against, black men or black people as a whole, or minorities as a whole.
Mm-hmm.
And, to me, the biggest problem there is crime starts, for me, crime has its roots in poverty. Poverty has its roots, in my opinion, in disproportionate access to education. So the fact that we were able to do, and again, let me backtrack a bit. So what I think the best solution to all that is equal opportunities. And the more that we can, as artists, provide those opportunities to children, better arts programs, better school programs, even if it's not within their actual school district, but give them something easily accessible to outside, I think it gives them a better fighting chance to get out of situations where they're more likely to turn to a life of crime, petty crime, major crime, whatever, because, they just didn't have or didn't know anything else. So that's why I really that's why that charity stream meant the most to me, because it was answering the problem in a way that I would like to one day answer it myself. And I think besides that, the coolest thing about that charity, with it being an all-black stream, is it really showed that there is no one way to be black. We all went out there and did our thing. and we each showed, you know, the vast spectrum of what a black artist is capable of. And I feel like we get pigeonholed so much on what a black artist is because we only we're promoted by people who only know how to promote us a certain way. Mm-hmm. And the thing is, like, they're trying their best and they think they're being, you know, like, woke or fucking inclusive or whatever, but they want you to follow this, like, pipeline that they're comfortable with. Mm-hmm. And it's like, with One Beat, you had 5 or 6 black artists doing their own fucking thing, and it was awesome, you know?
That's amazing to hear. Now, out of curiosity, did you ever think of maybe being a teacher in the future? Or were you thinking of that? Because it seems like the education part really means a whole lot to you.
Teacher, not necessarily, more just kind of like a mentor or a guide, you know? And, like, I know those are roughly or vaguely similar things, but I think more... Instead of being like, all right, class, this is my fucking, you know, syllabus for the day, I don't want to do all that. I more want to be a community leader. That's what I want to do. I more so want to be a community leader and create a space where there are teachers and, like, you know, other spot like that. But I want to be more of a mentor in a community than a teacher per se.
That would be amazing to see, like, you know, step into your leader status and be a community leader. I feel like we can always use people like that, and I'm happy that will be a role that I know will definitely fit you to a T. Believe me. Now back to, like, the music part of everything, and especially all the shows and everything you've done so far, all the accomplishments you've done in your whole freaking resume. Is there any, like, one specific maybe show or festival that really like popped out, like, really that made you feel like, oh yes, I'm really being a mentor, I'm really being like a shining light in the EDM industry right now? I know there's a lot, because believe me, there has been a lot of tours, a lot of shows that you've done, from opening for Keizo, opening for Funtcase, being part of Red Rock, Subtronics. The list goes on, but if you can maybe point out one or two, we'd love to hear it.
I'd say the biggest one so far would be definitely EDC Mexico and or Madhouse in Mexico. Because, like, Mexico gets a dubstep show a year, if they're lucky, you know, like a proper one. So being able to go out there and connect with so many fans where they're like, they just don't have the same access to a music scene as we do. Just being able to go out there and then talk to other artists that are just grinding to make, you know, like, yeah, they want to travel the world, but they also want to bring what we have here in America, what other music communities have in their country, down to Mexico, and, like, really, like, nurture a rising, loving, like, music community. I thought that was really cool to go down there and, like, kind of help light the fire that is starting that off, you know, like, and Jessica's doing so much heavy lifting down there, so, like, that's one of the main reasons I have so much respect for her. But to get a chance to, like, help her and, like, help the world kind of see, like, yo, like, shit's popping off in Mexico, like, there's a desire for it, there's a market for it, and there's a die-hard fan base there. So it was cool to go in a very underrated market and just kind of, like, help be a part of history there.
That is amazing, and I know Mexico owes you a huge rather debt for you being there and blessing them with your presence, and so many other artists out there in EDC Mexico. Hopefully it will come back soon, like, hopefully maybe this year, hopefully even next year, because I feel like Mexico can use a lot more of people like you and so many other artists that I'm seeing in the lineup for EDC Mexico 2023 at that time. But now, regarding festivals, what is it about these specific 2 festivals, Forbidden Kingdom and Rampage? Because it seems like those 2 festivals you got on the lineup almost on the same exact year in 2021. And each year, after year after year, you appear and you just keep going harder and harder and harder with each and every one, with you collaborating with people like you and Dr. Ushu, and now recently with you, Level, and now J Moss. What is it about those 2 festivals that keeps you coming back for more?
I mean, it's just, for FK, it's my demographic, you know, like, it is the U.S. Rhythm Festival. So with me doing my thing and being an underground, I consider myself, like, it's funny because the term rhythm has become more of a blanket term for underground. And yes, I do play a lot of rhythm in my sets, but I'll never play a full rhythm set, but I will play a full underground set. Sorry, I'm getting fucking lost in the nuances of it all, but FK is right now the best festival for that. Like, that's what they want to hear there. So it just makes sense to have someone like myself go there time after time after time. And for Rampage, I feel like Rampage is just, we say Lost Lands is the dubstep Super Bowl, fucking Northern Invasion is the Rhythm Olympics. To me, Rampage is the World Cup. Like that's the bass music World Cup. And every time I play Rampage, it's just, in Europe, they have a different appreciation for the technicality of DJing. I feel like being a technical DJ is way more appreciated in Europe than it is in America. So every time I go to Rampage, it's not just the fact that I'm an underground artist or an underground musician. It's the fact that I'm a very skilled technical DJ, and that's why I keep getting brought back there year after year. So I don't know. That's why Rampage is one of my favorite festivals, if not my favorite festival, because I will always be more of a DJ than a producer, and Rampage gives me a chance to be celebrated for that.
That is amazing to hear, and it's obviously incredible. It's obviously obvious to hear how much you really love FK, how much you love Rampage, and all the other festivals you've been a part of. But I never would have thought to see Rampage kind of like the World Cup, seeing all the artists that are on that lineup from the UK and the USA and all the countries, even Australia, it kind of feels like that. You're not playing for like a trophy or anything. You're just playing there because you just want to show people what you got, and this type of energy, this type of music you want to give to the world. And now, I'll end with this question here. With all the work you've done so far, with you being part of all these festivals, with you being part of all these shows, and you even doing your little bit side project in the beginning with the Root Canal volumes, which are pretty incredible as well. Hopefully we'll hear more of that. But you can answer that question yourself, which is, what might be next for Sweettooth?
I mean, whatever makes sense, honestly. We have Grocery Bash, which is my love child, with
Grocery Bash or Grocery Boiz?
Grocery Bash, which is Grocery Boiz. It's our show we do around the country. You know what I mean? And basically, it's just kind of like a giant middle finger to what corporate / capitalist dubstep has kind of become, with the same lineups over and over and over again, because everyone wants to do what they know will sell. So Grocery Bash is us saying like, hey, fuck you. We can do a big show with just our friends, who, with a lot of people, like, if you don't have your ear to the underground, you might not have heard of. But if you do have your ear to the underground, you're going to know damn well who they are. And to have 2 successful shows, like, with lineups that's literally just my friends, or just our friends and people we respect, proving that you can do it without, like, doing the same fucking thing that everyone else does. That's what I look forward to more. I want to do more of that. I want to do more of Grocery Bash. If it's not Grocery Bash, I just want to do whatever it is where I'm just staying real, staying with my values, and just creating opportunities for not only my friends, but underground producers that really deserve it,
That's amazing to hear. And just out of curiosity, since you're obviously part of the Grocery Boiz, can you say any other artists are also part of that group as well? I think I can kind of guess, but I think it's best maybe you tell the roster of who's part of Grocery Boiz so we can hear what they got as well.
Oh shit! Okay, if I forget some people, don't fucking hang me, because like there's a shit ton of us. But off the rip, there's myself, J Moss, Zadi, Soundwreck, Cam. He doesn't DJ, but then we got No Offense, Unit, Brute, Sora, Beast Boy, UK. Squishy, kind of. Yeah, he comes and goes when he wants, But that's another thing, that we allow people to come and go when they want, which is, I think, one of the beautiful things about it. Because, life happens very hard and very fast sometimes, so we just want people to be like, if they get overwhelmed, this or that, they can come and go. You got Skeletor, Decidity, Manly, Heckler, which is a fucking great ad, Jaqui, Odisho, Ophion, Focus, oh yeah, fucking Level, of course, Dr. Ushu, and then we have fucking Bezo, Azabeam, Madcore, Shark, Artix, You got fucking Lash, goofy ass. Fuck, man. And again, like if I forget people, I'm sorry. This is just we're fucking deep.
Understood. You don't have to keep going. I don't want you to burn yourself out, but again.
Fucking Destroy is weird ass too. Fuck you, Gibby.
But yeah, a lot of these names I have obviously heard before here and there, but some are brand new. I'll make sure I rewind this back so I can look these guys up because, whether, like I said, they come and go sometimes.
And mic shift. I'm gonna keep doing that. Like as these names come to mind, I'm just gonna fucking just quick fire them off.
Mike shift too. Love that man. Absolutely killing it in his journey too. But again, to all the Grocery Boiz and especially to you, Sweettooth.
Tell the truth, Base Galaxy.
To yes. To all of them are going to be mentioning.
Deviate, Nerve.
We appreciate all those boys so freaking much, and hopefully we can bring the Grocery Bash to places around the world. I feel like New York could definitely appreciate
Mob Ties.
We could definitely appreciate Grocery Bash. Hopefully, maybe this summer, maybe next summer. I'll make sure I keep an eye out for it. But again, Sweettooth, thank you so much for your time. We really appreciate you so much, and thanks so much for coming here to NYC.
Jack Daniels Wednesday. Hammy.
Phil's Hammy?
Yeah.
He's the part of the. He is?
Yeah.
Well, I'll be. But
not Ham-D, Hammy.
Oh, Hammy. I'm so sorry. I thought it was Ham-D, the counting Ham-D. I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
My apologies there. Ham-me. My apologies. But again, Sweettooth, thank you so much for blessing us with your time and coming to NYC to bless us at the Meadows as well with so many other incredible artists too, like Shashelle, the Festival Finesser, the Wookiee Monster, and everyone else. We really appreciate you so freaking much. And for all that you've done for the EDM community, know that your work, your love, your passion for this is not ignored. It's not overseen. It is seen. It's heard. And we appreciate you so freaking much. I can hardly wait to see you tear it up yet again at the Meadows. So to everyone who's watching, thank you so much for listening. And remember the names. Remember the Grocery Boiz. Remember Sweettooth. Because again, even though I'd be 10, 11 years already in this career, I feel like it's only just the beginning for someone as amazing as Sweettooth.
Infinite, Suspect, Autocorrect.
Those guys too. Infinite. Wow. He's part of Grocery Boiz too. Dang it. Well, we have a long list to look up. We'll probably say more names, but bottom line, thank you so much for watching. Sweettooth, thank you so much. This is Lemar Jr., Sweettooth signing out. Peace. Any more names you got?
The boy per side, he don't make music, but he's allergic to lavender, so do whatever you want with that information.
I'm not throwing shit at it. Let me talk camera right now before I get hit. Peace, everyone. Peace.